Hey, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera show. You know, I'm always so happy to be here every Saturday night, but I'm especially happy tonight because hopefully we've got some wonderful out-of-town guests in our community tonight that are here for the tournament. I hope you'll tune in. You know, some of the things that are so wonderful that you enjoy eating at the tournament, like pimento cheese, the egg salad, that delicious dressing that is noted in our area. These are all the things that we're going to make tonight. I've got a very special guest, Harold Jones. Hope many of you know him. He's been bragging to me for years about his pimento cheese is so much better than mine. Well, you know what? We're going to put him to the test tonight. So tune in, grab a glass of wine. You don't want to miss these wonderful Augusta noted recipes and a great time to see me go down home with a really good friend on a great recipe. So come on and join us. We're going to have a lot of fun. Welcome back. You know, Augusta, Georgia is noted for a lot of things. I would hope that VeryVera is one of them. But one of the things that we're most noted for is a salad dressing that was actually founded at a restaurant here in Augusta that's no longer in business. In fact, it was torn down many years ago and is located directly across the street from the entrance to the Augusta National. It was called the Green Jacket Restaurant, and this is their salad dressing. So please tune in. The recipe for this will be on the website at nbc26.tv, but it is a great salad dressing. So what I've got is a half a cup of vegetable oil. I'm going to add to that a third of a cup of red wine vinegar. And I love to make this dressing in a wooden bowl instead of in a jar. You've seen a lot of different versions of this recipe, but the one that I like to use and the one that we make at home, I love to use this old wooden salad bowl, and I love to find a pliable spoon that you can start the process directly in the bowl. All right, the next ingredient is dried oregano and then Lowry's seasoned salt. And again, you're just going to continue the process of taking that spoon and just kind of blending. You can almost hear the sound of the ingredients going on the edge of the spoon and on the bowl. All right, I've got a spring onion that I've diced up, and then a Roma tomato that I've also diced up. And this, to me, is one of the best parts, is that you almost want to kind of smash those tomatoes into the salad oil and the vinegar as you're going along. And when I'm making this for company, if you make this ahead and just let it sit in the bowl, all of the ingredients are just going to start to come together, and it's such a colorful salad dressing. All right, so that's about where I want it to be. Now the last thing that's going to go in at this time is fresh parsley, and I love to do this at the very last minute because you're really going to get a real pop of that parsley if you wait until the last minute to cut it up. So I've pulled some of the nice leaves, and I just want to take my knife and just mince this parsley up. The dried oregano works a lot better than fresh, but this fresh parsley is going to add a real kick to this salad dressing. The nice thing too is whenever you're having folks over, anything that you can get done ahead is going to make it a lot easier for the whole evening to go well. So this salad dressing you can make that morning or even the day before and have it ready. And this is about 1/4 of a cup that I'm going to add to this bowl. And again, I even like to let it sit in the bowl while it goes. So at this point, I've done everything with the dressing that I can do ahead of time. And at the last minute, I'm going to add the romaine lettuce, the iceberg lettuce. We're going to put some pita chips that are toasted in it and top it with Parmesan cheese. So come back with me after the break. I'm going to get started on a chocolate chip cookie with a twist and introduce a very special guest. So come back with me after the break. Gosh, it smells so good. Welcome back. We're going to get started on a wonderful recipe for chocolate chip cookies. It's always, I'm always going to have those traditional recipes, but with a twist. So tonight, I'm going to show you how to save a little bit of fat content, but make a wonderful, crispy, but chewy cookie. But before I do that, I want to introduce my very special guest tonight. Everybody, this is Harold Jones, and Harold and I have been friends for many, many years. I've known him as long as I've lived in Augusta, which is 28 years, and he and I have been going back and forth about this pimento cheese recipe that he has. So before he tries to take me down with that, I'm going to let him get started on the cookie dough that I made earlier. So what we're going to do, Harold, is just put about a teaspoon of cookie dough on these 2 cookie sheets, and I'm going to get started on the recipe.
Okay.
That sounds great. All right, so I've got a stick of butter in the mixer, and this is where the twist comes in, Harold, and I don't know whether y'all have ever tried anything like this, but I'm going to use a whole avocado instead of that second stick of butter. So I'm just going to spoon it out and start adding it in just like you would. And this one's, look how nice, and this is perfectly ripened. So I can't wait for you to try these because, guys love chocolate chip cookies, at least the ones I know.
Yeah, this one too.
Good. So these are going to be extra special, nice and crispy on the outside and nice and chewy on the inside. So just make sure you've got a nice ripe avocado. And I took my knife and just actually went around the outside, and it just flipped open, so it makes it really easy. So I'm going to get that creamed really well. Turn that up just a little bit. And then we're going to add to that some salt and baking soda. I've got granulated sugar, 3/4 of a cup. And another thing I'm kind of splurging on is see how nice and dark this dough is? Mm-hmm. I've decided if you're going to make a simple recipe that you should use the best ingredients. And I know you're going to go into that when you get started on this pimento cheese recipe. But this is the most expensive brown sugar that the grocery store had. And I thought there must be something really great about it. And I think I found it because these cookies are just terrific. So, splurge on a simple ingredient. Like buy really good vanilla, mm-hmm. Look at the expiration date. So the granulated sugar and the brown sugar is going to go in together. And look at the color of the batter. It's almost kind of a greeny color. Yeah. But when they bake up, you don't really see that quite as much. All right, then that good, expensive vanilla. Uh-huh. It lasts a long time, so why not splurge? So I'm going to put a teaspoon of that. Alrighty. And then I'll start adding my flour, and that's looking perfect. I've got the oven preheated on 375 degrees, and these are going to bake for about 8 to 10 minutes or until they're good and crisp. I'll turn the mixer down just a little bit as I start adding this flour. And when we come back from the break, Harold, you better get your sleeves rolled up because we're going to go into a pimento cheese throwdown. So come back and join us after the break. Harold's going to get started on that end of the counter.
Sleeves are up.
Welcome back. There's great smelling cookies in the oven. We've got a wonderful salad dressing made. We're getting ready to make some wonderful spreads. And I guess without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Harold, who seems to think that he can make the best pimento cheese ever.
You can decide when we're through.
Okay. Well, we'll be the judge of that. So why don't you tell us what we've got over here?
Okay, what we've got is a pound of extra sharp cheddar cheese, and one of the key ingredients is getting good cheese. I also grate the cheese myself. I don't buy the pre-grated cheese. I use this grater and just the blocks of cheese, and just simple as that. Just grate it up.
Do you find that it just holds all of the ingredients better if it's nice and moist, when, you know, like freshly grated?
The texture's better. The other doesn't work very well. And then I use 2 4-ounce jars of diced pimentos, and I drain them first, and then I put them in the Cuisinart blender and blend them up to a liquid state.
Oh,
like
almost
so.
pureed.
Yeah. Then I add that.
Well, that's a different twist.
It blends the flavor of the pimentos in the cheese, and it really makes it good.
And you're just using a fork to stir that up.
Just stir it up a little bit. And then after I get it pretty...
It smells great.
I told you it was going to be good.
I better hush.
And then use a teaspoon of black ground pepper and a half a teaspoon of salt, just to kind of pull the flavor of the cheese out. I don't want to taste the salt though. And then mix that up real well. And then comes one of the key ingredients, the secret aspect of it. Some good.
It is getting hot in here tonight.
Some good Tabasco sauce. I use a teaspoon of Tabasco sauce, and sometime I'll fluctuate this. Depends on how much spice I want. If I want to really kick it up, I'll add more to it.
We'll kick it up. You might have to kick it up tonight.
Well, we can always add some more.
Oh gosh, that's looking great.
Get that blended up, and then have a half a cup of Duke's mayonnaise. Got to use good mayonnaise. And I know Vera is a Hellman's lady, but
I'm over here trying to make egg salad while he's doing this pimento cheese. And, you know, I'm always talking about the Hellman's mayonnaise, so here we go. I guess if they don't have Hellman's, I'll buy Duke's.
Okay. And then mix that up.
Gosh.
And
you know, I really think the key to that, to me, is the fact that you've pureed those pimentos, because it almost, you know, sometimes on regular pimento cheese, you're going to get a big hunk of pimento, and maybe you don't have the flavor going through it as much.
Doing that, I found, will blend the flavor all the way through it, and and you don't have any, like you say, chunks of pimentos. It's all blended in there. And
Well,
I think
while
it
you're
adds a
stirring
lot
that
to it.
up, let me tell them a little bit about what I'm doing here. The egg salad sandwich, of course, is another sandwich just like pimento cheese that everybody enjoys when they're out at the tournament this week. And certainly we're not trying to duplicate those recipes. These are our own recipes, but certainly Southern favorites and Augusta favorites. But the egg salad that I'm doing, I've just got hard cooked eggs. My home ec teacher told me you couldn't say hard boiled because an egg doesn't boil. So hard cooked eggs. And then I love to use Hellman's mayonnaise. I love a little bit of Durkee sauce in my egg salad. And then my new twist that just started in the last couple of years, instead of just regular sweet relish, I love to add the Wickles hot. So I guess you're the Tabasco side of hot, and these Wickles pickles are awesome. If you've not tried them, I picked this up at the Fresh Market. It's just a great hot kick to that. So I'm going to add all of this egg into this bowl and start my mixing process. And then do you at this point refrigerate that before you serve it, or can you serve it right away?
I usually refrigerate it, but if I have my grandchildren with me, they kind of get into it.
They start eating it right away.
Yeah, right away.
Okay, well, we are going to take a break now, and when we come back, Harold and I are going to start spreading some wonderful sandwiches, and you know there's nothing like good old white bread when you enjoy these kind of sandwiches out at the tournament. we're going to do that. We're going to do a beautiful buffet of the salad, the cookies, the 2 kinds of sandwiches. So come back and join us. You're going to want to see this all laid out.
Taste it.
You know, it's always nice to take a hostess gift when you're invited to dinner. Some of my favorites are things that maybe you don't use right away. For future use is always great. How about a breakfast casserole? As you're putting one together for yourself, always make an extra to have in the freezer. That's the perfect thing to take when you're going to a dinner party. A bottle of wine is always appropriate, and I love to take it with a bow maybe on the top, and then put it discreetly to one side so that your host or hostess doesn't feel like they have to open it that night. And then finally, think of something that might remind them of you, maybe something that's your favorite thing. I love pottery, so I always love to find a really neat little bowl. Maybe when I go to the art shows at the local college, I fill it up with nuts, put my calling card in it, and put the note, "We're nuts about you," always in good taste. Welcome back, and you know, we have really worked hard today, Harold, and you know, it's looking close. I don't have a final verdict yet, but it's looking pretty close. So let's get that last sandwich spread. And you know, the recipe is awesome, truly. So since I know you didn't think of it, where did the recipe come from?
Well, the recipe actually came from my dad, who had Edmonds & Jones drugstore, and they had a soda fountain back in the 50s before the days of McDonald's. And they had
before I was born.
Well, I don't know about that. But they had pimento cheese sandwiches, hamburgers, hot dogs, chicken salad sandwiches, and so forth. And that's where this
soda fountain.
Yeah, and that's where the recipe came from. I've tweaked it just a little with the Tabasco and a few other things, but that's basically where the recipe came from.
Well, let's get that last sandwich spread, and you know, that's just such great Augusta history, and you know, it's right up from where the tournament is played, and so we're really getting close to home. And what we've done here is prepared a beautiful tray with these sandwiches, and I had a moist towel on top of it. You can use a kitchen towel, you can use a paper towel, but just take your hand under the faucet of the sink, just dampen that, and then this will keep that bread nice and moist while you're waiting to get the entire tray done. So we're going to add 2 more sandwiches to that. He's cutting the crust off the bread, and then I'm going to start moseying down here. I've got the salad dressing that's been curing in the bowl that we made it in. But I've got the spread of food all ready to go, and this is just indoor-outdoor carpet. I've pulled some beautiful paper products from Fresh Market. You know, you can go in there and almost put together the entire event, from the flowers all the way through to the paper products. We're going to put the salad dressing in the bowl. I've got the chocolate chip cookies, and then moon pies are another great southern dessert. So I'm going to add the last bit to this salad before Harold comes down here and gets the salad dressing on for me. Okay, that's looking great. Put that one right there. I'll move this on down. Doesn't that look wonderful? And I've added the pita chips, Harold. I'm going to let you put the salad dressing on. And I almost like to do the chips a little ahead of time too sometimes, because I like them to get a little soggy.
Ready?
Mm-hmm, ready. Oh man, that's just going to be great.
It smells great.
And then we're going to toss this up with these wonderful salad hands. I'll let you do that while I pour the beverage. And if you don't have a set of these, 3 Monkeys, you know, does the set for me every week, and I think they did a spectacular job tonight. And they sell these wooden salad tongs in the store. So this is the finishing touches on the green jacket salad. Again, another Augusta landmark. I've got the Arnold Palmer beverage, which is half and half, sweet lemonade and unsweet tea. So you've got the perfect balance. So there you are. And if you're in the mood, I guess you could put a little something extra in there if you wanted to. It maybe could go well with that Tabasco sauce. And we're gonna do a little plate of
great.
food. I wanna say cheers.
Cheers.
And I'm gonna have to jump right in. I'm gonna let you make a plate, but while you're doing that, I'm gonna jump right in on this pimento cheese sandwich.
Surrender?
You know, I hate to lose, but I may have to this time. Cheers, because y'all, this is fantastic. So as we enjoy this wonderful buffet, and Harold, help yourself to all of this, I want to remind you that all of the recipes, and Harold's given up this recipe, is on our website at NBC26.tv. Go there to look for it. Come back with me next Saturday for another Throwdown. Joe Barrett on shrimp and grits. Harold, thank you again for being with us. And for all of you in Augusta, whatever you do, do it in good taste.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.